हाँ, तो स्टार्ट करते हैं क्वेश्चन नंबर 7, राइट। तो क्वेश्चन नंबर 7 में क्या है, हम लोग साफ साफ देख सकते हैं। तो अगर ध्यान से देखो ना, तो ये एक्चुअली बहुत ज़्यादा इजी सवाल था जिसको थोड़ा सा डिफिकल्ट बना दिया गया है ना। तो चलो, पहली बात तो अपने क्या क्या चीज़ नोट कर सकते हैं। तो एफ जी डिफरेंशिएबल है कि नहीं, पूरा पंगा इस बात का है। सपोज एफ जी इज नथिंग बट एच एक्स, फाइंड आउट एच डैश एक्स। व्हाट इज एच डैश एक्स? इट्स एफ डैश इंटू जी प्लस g dash into f. Fine, fine. Now, first of all, fx is always differentiable. Fine. Okay. How can I say? The thing is, in fx, if you see, it's a polynomial. So polynomial is always continuous and differentiable, right? It's again polynomial into sin x. So polynomial and sin x both are continuous and differentiable. So we can say it's d plus d into d type. So d into d type is always differentiable, and differentiable plus differentiable always differentiable. So we can say that fx is always differentiable, like that. Fine, fine. Now let us come to original question. Here also, if you see, f1 is nothing but 0. Now f1 is 0 and it is continuous, right? Fx is continuous and differentiable at the same time. So can we say it's f of 1 plus equal to f of 1 minus is also 0? Yes. Now when hx is differentiable, hx is differentiable when we can prove h dash 1 plus is equal to h dash 1 minus. It's also called LHD equal to LHD. If any or anyhow we can prove this one, so we can say hx is differentiable. Fine or not? Fine. It's clear. Now if f of 1 plus and f of 1 minus is always 0, so can we say this thing is always 0? It means h dash x is nothing but f dash x into g. Fine, fine. Now also f dash 1 plus is equal to f dash of 1 minus is equal to f dash of 1, because we already saw that fx is always differentiable, right? So since it's already differentiable, so LHD must equal to RHD, and it's always continuous, so ऐसा होगा. So it means suppose this is nothing but k. So can I write h dash is equal to kgx? Now finally, yes, finally we can write, right? Now let us jump into options. What are the options? Number one, A. A is if g is continuous. Okay, g is continuous means g of 1 plus is equal to g of 1 minus is equal to g of 1. Fine, fine. Then fg is differentiable. Okay, okay. If g of 1 plus equal to g of 1 minus, then can we say that h dash of 1 plus is equal to h dash of 1 minus? Yes, because k is constant. So g of 1 plus and g of 1 minus both are equal. So we can say this, because it is nothing but k into g of 1 plus is equal to k into g of 1 minus, and it is given that both are equal, hence they are also equal. So option A is true. Fine, true. Fine. Now let us jump into option B. What is option B? Option B is if g is differentiable at x equal to 1, if g is differentiable at x equal to 1, then sorry, fg is differentiable at x equal to 1, then g is continuous x equal to 1, right? Okay, it is given that hx is differentiable. RH is differentiable. Differentiable means it is given h dash 1 plus is equal to h dash 1 minus. Any problem? No. Okay, h dash 1 plus is equal to h dash 1 minus means we can conclude from here that it means g of 1 plus is equal to g of 1 minus, because k is constant, right? K is constant, so we can say k into g of 1 plus is equal to k into g of 1 minus. K cancel, so from here we can say g of 1 plus is equal to g of 1 minus. Fine. Okay, if fg is differentiable at x equal to 1, then g is continuous at x equal to 1. Okay, continuous में क्या होता है? Continuous का मतलब LHL is equal to RHL is equal to f of a. Okay, now here we have given that g of 1 plus equal to g of 1 minus. Does it means it is also equal to g of 1? No, it doesn't necessarily. Why it doesn't necessarily? Maybe g of 1 defined, maybe g of 1 not defined. इट्स लाइक इस तरह का फिगर कुछ हो जाए. There are many possibilities. We can't say directly that if g of plus is equal to g of 1 minus, then it must equal g of 1. It means it is false. G can be continuous, G cannot be continuous, may not be continuous, right? So it's false. Now C option. If G is differentiable at x equal to 1, so fg is differentiable at x equal to 1. So it's true. Why? If G is differentiable, it means G is continuous. If G is differentiable, then G is continuous, then only it can be differentiable. Or G is continuous means option A. Option A also says if G is continuous, then FG is differentiable, we saw. So A and C are interrelated and A and C are answered. Okay, let us check option D. If FG is differentiable, okay, it's just like option B, FG is differentiable, then G is differentiable. It's wrong. Why it's wrong? Because we saw in option B that FG is differentiable, then G is continuous. It's false. It can be continuous, it cannot be continuous. It may be continuous, may not be continuous. Now, if it is not continuous, how it can be differentiable every time? So B and D are wrong, A and C are correct. Fine. Next. Okay. Let M be a 3 cross 3 invertible matrix. Okay. M inverse equal to adjoint of adjoint M. Fine. Now, everyone, we saw some formulas, right? We have some formulas that adjoint of adjoint M is equal to mod of M n minus 2 into M, where n is the order of matrix. Here n is 3. So 3 minus 2, 1. So it is nothing but mod M into M. It's fine. And what is adjoint of adjoint? It's M inverse. It's given. Now if you take magnitude, not mod, if you take the determinant both sides, what we have? We have here mod of M inverse is equal to mod of determinant of M into M. Fine. And if you know a formula, that mod of Ka is equal to K raised to n into mod of A, where n is the order of matrix. Fine. Because in matrix, when any number is multiplied to a matrix, then it is multiplied to every element of matrix. But in determinant, it is multiplied, or we can take common in row wise or column wise, like that. Fine. Okay. So same thing, if you follow this formula, what we have this thing, 1 upon mod M. We know mod of A inverse equal to 1 upon determinant of M is equal to mod of M whole cube into mod of M. From here we can say mod of M is equal to O raised to 5 equal to 1. So determinant of M nothing but 1. Fine. Now everyone, here what we have, M inverse is equal to mod M into M. Okay, mod M is 1, so it's M. If we multiply M, pre-multiply, post-multiply, whatever it is, so it's M inverse, which is I equal to M square. So M square equal to I, we have one thing, mod M equal to 1, we have second thing, and adjoint of M. What is adjoint of M? Is equal to M inverse of M. Fine. M inverse of adjoint of M क्या होता है भाई? M inverse of mod M, and mod M is equal to 1, we know. So it's nothing but M inverse. And what is M inverse? It's M. So it's equal to M. Now what is adjoint M of whole square? It's M square. So it's equal to I. So which is the answer? Answer is option B, C, D. Mod M 1, M square I, adjoint M square 1. Not 1, I. Now the thing is M equal to I, right? Let us talk about M equal to I. See, when M square is equal to I, it doesn't mean that M is always I. M can be I, M may be I, M may not be I. So it doesn't meet. And what is the question? Question is, it's always true. Question is, then which of the following statement is always true? So A may be true, A may not be true. So BCD is always true. Fine. Let us jump into next question. Question 9. Okay, let us talk about question 9. We have this thing, right? Let us discuss a formula of complex number, basic formula. which is mod of z1 plus z2 less than equal to, it may be plus minus, mod z1 plus mod z2 greater than mod z1 minus mod z2. Fine. Here we have both mod, so that it cannot be negative like that. So we can distinguish by ourselves. The mod here exists. If you check, it cannot, it may not be exist, right? It like that. Fine. Now let us jump into our question. What is question? Mod of z square plus z plus 1 is equal to 1, right? Fine. Now if we apply this equality, okay, first before let us organize this. What is this? 2 whole square plus 3 by 4. It's like that. Fine. Okay, how I can write this? It's completing square method. We can do this. Okay, it's less than equal to mod z plus 1 by 2 whole square plus 3 by 4. Okay, I am writing one more formula. It's 1 mod of z square is equal to mod z whole square. Fine. Now what we have, it's nothing but 1, so we can write it's equal to 1, so we can write mod z plus 1 by 2 whole square minus 1 by 2 whole square is greater than equal to 1, right? So from here we can conclude that it is nothing but mod z plus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2 into mod z plus 1 by 2 minus 1 by 2 greater than equal to, it's 0, no problem. Now everyone please agree, mod is always positive, right? Mod means complex magnitude, right? It will give distance, so it's always positive. So positive plus positive, it's always positive, so we can manage them, it, right? Now mod z plus 1 by 2 minus 1 by 2 is positive, means mod z plus 1 by 2 is always greater than equal to 1 by 2. Any problem? No problem, right? So we can say here, from here, mod z plus 1 by 2 is always greater than equal to 1 by 2. So it's our one thing, right? Fine. Second thing I'm noting from this, mod of z square plus z plus 1 is equal to 1. Now we'll apply second equality, this one, mod z1 minus mod z2. So can we apply this? Yes. So it's mod of z square plus z minus 1 less than equal to 1. It's fine. Now can we say further we can apply for this same equality, this one is mod z minus mod z2, right? So what we can do, again mod z square minus mod z minus 1 less than equal to 0. So if you solve this, it will give you mod z plus 1 mod z minus 2 less than equal to 0. Fine. Now if mod z is plus, it's always positive, so it can be erased, we can say. Let us, fine. Now everyone, can we say from here that mod z is less than equal to 2, because mod z plus 1 is always positive, right? So what is our final answer? This one and this one. So we can say that our answer is nothing but B and C. It's fine, it's B and C. Great. Okay, let's move ahead. Question 10. Okay, fine. Question 10 is somewhat calculative. Let us calculate. Okay, for question 10 we don't need any further formulas, only some conditional identity and so I showed you one formula, a upon sin a equal to b upon sin b equal to c upon sin d, like that. Fine. Oh, okay, let us use things. Okay, we all know that a upon sin a equal to b upon sin b equal to c upon sin c, like that. Okay, let's write this clean. Sin a sin b c upon sin c equal to 2r. or we can say k. Fine. One more formula, let me remind you that summation of sin a is equal to 4 times of pi of cos of a by 2. This both we are going to use. Fine, fine. Now, question is tan of x by 2 plus tan of z by 2, fine, equal to twice of y. Okay, y, can I write y, suppose a, can I write k sin a, right? So I can write twice of k sin y. Again, if you take k common from all sides, we'll get sin x plus sin y plus sin z, k cancel. Fine. Okay, in denominator what we have? Summation of sin x, which is nothing but 4 times of pi cos a by 2. It is true for a triangle. Triangle means a plus b plus c pi. That's why it's called conditional identity. Fine, fine. Now, can we say it's equal to 4 times of pi cos a by 2? Let's apply the things, right? So we can write twice of sin y upon 4 times of cos x by 2 cos y by 2 cos z by 2. Okay, this sin y, can I write 2 sin y by 2 cos y by 2? Yes, 2 sin theta cos theta. Everyone knows this, right? So I am writing this. It's 2 sin y by 2 into cos y by 2. Cos y by 2, cos y by 2 cancel. It can be cancelled. Now 2 to the 4, 4 cancelled. We have cos x by 2, cos z by 2. Right? Send this cos x by 2, cos z by 2 left hand side. What we get? This tan x by 2 cancel, sin by cos cancel. So sin x by 2 cos z by 2 plus sin z by 2 cos x by 2 equal to sin y by 2. This we have. Now everyone please tell me, it is nothing but sin a cos b plus cos a sin b. So it's sin of a plus b. Fine. Okay, so it's nothing but sin of x plus z by 2 is equal to sin of y by 2. So from here we can say x plus z equal to y. It's capital Y, of course. Fine, it's capital Y. So it's one answer. Okay, if you square both sides, what we get? We get x square plus z square plus 2xz is equal to y square. So x square plus z square minus y square equal to minus 2xz. It's second thing we are getting. Fine, fine. Now let's see the option. Options are like this. Okay, first one is wrong because second one we get x plus z equal to y, and third one is also wrong because this we get minus 2xz, so it's also wrong, it's also wrong. So what is remains? C remains. C. So if you check for C, C might be true, C might not be true. That we have to check. That we have to check, right? Okay, check then. Now, what is C? Third one is tan x by 2. It's x upon y plus z. What is x? We can say k sin x. We can write k common sin y plus sin z. Sin y plus sin z. Okay. Now apply sin c plus sin d. What is sin c plus sin d, bro? 2 sin c plus d by 2 plus, no, 2 sin c plus d by 2 cos c minus d by 2, like that. Okay, if you solve it, you'll see the thing will be twice of sin x by 2 cos x by 2 upon twice of sin y plus z by 2 sin y minus z by 2. Fine. Okay, what is y plus z? What is y plus z? Y plus z is nothing but pi minus x, because sum of x plus y plus z is pi. So pi minus x, so 90 minus theta cos theta. So it's cos x by 2, cos x by 2. Cancel. What remains? This. Okay, sin y minus z. It's not sin, it's cos, of course. Okay, what is, we have x, this one, right? So y minus z is x, so it's cos x by 2. So sin x by 2, cos x by 2. So can we say this tan x by 2? Yes. So LHS equal to RHS, hence C is also our answer. So we can say third one is also our answer. So B and C is answer. It's fine. Okay, let's jump into next one. 11th. ओके, क्वेश्चन 11 क्या कह रहा है? ये कह रहा है कि L1 है, L2 है अपने पास, और एक तीसरा लाइन L है जो दोनों के इंटरसेक्शन से पास हो रहा है और एट द सेम टाइम वो उनके प्लेन में लाई कर रहा है और वो उन दोनों का एंगल बाइसेक्टर है. इट इज देयर एंगल बाइसेक्टर. ओके, एंगल बाइसेक्टर मीन्स मतलब अगर कोई दो वेक्टर है, ए वेक्टर है, बी वेक्टर है और सी वेक्टर उसका एंगल बाइसेक्टर है, इट मीन्स सी की डायरेक्शन क्या होगी? वी हैव डायरेक्शन ऑफ सी इज ए कैप प्लस बी कैप. फाइन. ओके, व्हाट आई एम सेइंग इज if we have a rhombus, right? Rhombus, you see, it's a vector, it's b vector, and suppose it's a rhombus, suppose it's a c vector. So what is this vector? C vector, it's nothing but a cap plus b cap, angle bisector. Okay, now we have this thing, it's L1, it's L2, and it's L. So since L is the angle bisector of both, so we can say if L1 has direction something, L2 has direction something, so L is something but angle bisector, so a cap plus b cap. Okay, what is the direction of L1? It's 1, minus 1 and 3. What is the direction of L2? It's minus 3, minus 1 and 1. So what must be the direction of L? It's a cap plus b cap. So direction of L is nothing but, I'm talking about direction, it's nothing but a cap. A cap means 1, minus 1, 3 upon mod, so root 11 plus b cap. Fine. So add them, what we get? Minus 2 and 4. So minus 2 and 4 upon root 11. Okay, now it's the direction, right? It's the direction of L. So direction is minus 2, 4. Okay, what is direction they have given? They have given L, M and minus 2. Fine. So if both directions are same, means the ratio must be same. Ratio must be same means we can say L, we can say L upon minus 2 is equal to M upon minus 2 is equal to minus 2 upon minus 2 upon 4. Now if you cancel it, if you solve these two, you will get L equal to 1. If you solve these two, you will get M equal to 1. So L and M, we got the value. Fine. Now everyone please tell me, if this is L1, if this is L2, this is L1, this is L2, and L is passing through this, can we say the passing point of L1 L2 is also passed through L? Fine. Now in the question, if you agree, in the question if you see, it's nothing but L1 is passing through 1, 0 and 1. L2 is also passing through 1, 0 and 1. Both are passing through 1, 0 and 1, right? So it means it's the point passing through two lines, so it must pass through third line. So 1, 0, 1 satisfy L. So satisfy it in this L. What we get? 1 minus alpha upon L equal to 0 minus 1 upon M is equal to 1 minus gamma upon minus 2, like that. Fine. And L and M is 1, 1. So put them 1. So what we get? We get 1 minus alpha is equal to minus 1 is equal to 1 minus gamma upon minus 2. No problem? I think we have no problem, right? So what is the answer now? So if you solve these two, we'll get alpha is equal to 2. Alpha equal to 2. If you solve these two, what we get? It's 2, 1 minus 1. So gamma equal to minus 1 we get, right? So gamma equal to minus 1 we get. So everything we know now. So L plus M is 2 and alpha minus gamma is equal to 3. That's it. Fine. So what is the answer, bro? Alpha minus gamma equal to 3, L plus M equal to 2. L plus M cannot be 0. Alpha minus, alpha minus gamma is not equal to 3. Alpha Yeah, alpha minus gamma is 3, sorry. Fine. So A and B is the answer. Fine. So let's jump into next question. Okay. We have which of the following inequalities are true? Actually, it was a good question. Very good question. In third option, you will check. Fine. Okay. Okay, here we have inequalities, right? Inequalities means, can we say that we know expansion. So cos x is equal to 1 minus x square upon factorial 2 plus x4 upon factorial 4 minus dot, dot, dot. Similarly, we have sin x equal to x upon factorial 1 minus x cube upon factorial 3 plus x5 upon factorial 5 dot, dot, dot. We have these things, right? Fine. So can we say that this is inequality, right? This is up to, it is going up to infinite. So can we say if we integrate by substitute x cos x in required option, so can we say that it will give you an equality? Fine. So let's check for option A. So integrate 0 to 1 x into, let's cos x into 1 minus x square upon factorial 2 only. So now please agree, in cos x, can we say cos x is equal to 1 minus x square upon factorial 2 if we take only this one. So it's greater than equal to this. Why? Because we are adding so much of positive things, positive, negative, and it is less than this one. So overall it all will be positive. So can we say cos x is always greater than 1 minus x square by 2? Yes. So I can say this. So just take this one only. In dx is equal to, if you integrate this, you will get 1 by 2 minus 1 by 8, which is nothing but 3 by 8. I think option A is correct. Fine. Now option B, integration of x sin x, same thing, 0 to 1 x sin x dx is greater than equal to, sin x also take only this one, x minus x cube by 3, just take only that much. So what we get, 0 to 1 x square minus x4 by 6 dx. If you integrate this, if you will take x cube upon 3, so x5 upon 30, like that, and if you integrate this, it will give you greater than equal to 1 by 4 minus 1 by 36. If you solve this, you get 8 by 36. So if you cancel it, 2 by 9, so it's greater than equal to 2 by 9. Fine. So option B is correct or not? Sorry, it's x cube by 3, right? So if you integrate this, what we get 1 by 3 minus 30. So if you solve this, it is nothing but 3 by 8. Okay, now please tell me, something is greater than 3 by 8 and it's 3 by 10. In option 2 we have 3 by 10. So 3 by 8 is greater than 3 by 10, yes or no? Because in denominator we have 10 and one in denominator we have 8. So it is almost, 3 by 8 is less than 3 by 8. So if some quantity is greater than 3 by 8, it's obvious that it is greater than 3 by 10, right? So option A is correct, B is correct. Fine. Now let us jump into option D first. Why D? It's for reason. Okay, x square sin x. Now it's x square into sin x. Instead we can write that thing, x square x cube minus x5 upon 6 dx. If you integrate this, it will get you 1 by 4 minus 1 by 36. It's what is this? It's 2 by 9. So it's fine. If you get this, it's 2 by 9. It's fine. Now let us jump into C. What is C? C is x square cos x, right? X square cos x. Okay, we have checked already. You can check by yourself that if you, let's substitute cos x is equal to 1 minus x square by factorial 2, right? 1 minus x square by 2. Integrate this, what we get? Of course greater than equal to. So what we get? X cube by 3. So it's 1 by 3. X4 by 2. So x5 by 10. So it's 1 by 10. 1 by 10. Solve this. So it's 7 by 30. Okay, it's greater than 7 by 30. It doesn't mean it's greater than 1 by 2. Why? Because it may be happen that it is always less than 1 by 2. It cannot reach 1 by 2. It may happen. So now how we'll check that? How we'll check that? Okay, we'll check that suppose cos x is less than equal to 1. So we can say x square cos x is always less than equal to 1. Yes, integrate both sides 0 to 1. Integrate both sides 0 to 1. So it's x cube by 3. So it's 1 by 3. Okay, so we get to know that integration of 0 to 1 x square cos is always less than 1 by 3. As we said, it's greater than 7 by 30 but less than 1 by 3. So it cannot reach 1 by 2. Hence option C is incorrect. That's why option C is incorrect. Fine. Okay, let's jump into question 13. Now, question 13 is the easiest question he can ask, right? It's as easiest as well as silliest, you can say. Now, if m will be the minimum possible value of log, okay, fine. Everyone, please agree. We have log of base 3, 3 raised to y1 plus 3 raised to y2 plus 3 raised to y3. Okay, what is the graph of log? It's like this. No problem. Since base is greater than 1, that's why I am drawing this. Fine. It's totally fine. Now, graph is this means it's an increasing graph. Fine. Okay. Why I am saying this, you will get to know. We have this one and we have a thing, this one. x2, x3. Fine. Apply AMGM in these three quantities. What we get? AMGM. So we can say this one upon 3 greater than equal to 3 raised to y1 plus y2 plus y3 raised to 1 by 3. No problem. Now y1 plus sum is given 9. So 9 upon 3, 3. So if you cancel this, it will get 3. So 3 3s are 9, 3s are 27. So we'll get 27 into 3. So we can say 3 is to 4. 3 is to 4. Fine. So can we say this 3y1 plus 3y2 plus 3y3 is greater than equal to 3 raised to 4. If you take log both sides, so m is nothing but greater than equal to 4. If you take log both sides, so it will look like this one. Suppose this is k1, this is k2. If you take log both sides, so we can say k1 is nothing but greater than equal to 4. Fine. Log base 3. So minimum value of k1 is 4. So small m is equal to 4. It's fine. Now apply AMGM in this x1, x2 and x3. What we can say? The x1 plus x2 plus x3 upon 3 greater than equal to x1, x2, x3 raised to 1 by 3. What is x1 plus x2 plus x3? It's again 9. So 3 3s are 9. Cubic both sides. So 3 cube we can say? Yes. So it means x1, x2, x3 less than equal to 3 cube. If you take log 3 both sides, log base 3 both sides, so it will give you k2 less than equal to 3 is equal to capital M. No problem. So small m equal to 4, capital M equal to 3. So what is the question? Log 2 m cube. Right? Okay, log base 2. Wait, let me take the other colors. Okay, what is m is 4. 4 means 2 square. 2 square, right? So log base 2 m cube means 2 raised to 6, yeah, plus log base 3 m square. What is capital M? 3. So 3 square. So we can say it's 6 plus 2, it's equal to 8. So this is the answer. Fine. It's totally fine. Next, 14. Okay, it's a good question. It's a good question. We can say it's a good question. Let us solve 14. 14 is A1 A2 A3 इन AP है, ठीक है. B1 B2 B3 अपना क्या है, GP में. दोनों कॉमन डिफरेंस वी हैव 2. Now we have A1 B1 C. It means first term, both first term is C. It's fine, totally fine. Now C, we have common difference, it's C plus 2 dot 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 up to n terms. It's AP, right? No problem. What is GP? It's C into 2. It's C into 2 square, like dot 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 up to n terms. It's GP. Fine. Okay, what is given? Given is twice of sum of AP. So what, twice into sum of AP. What is sum of AP? Sum of AP is n by 2. Sum of AP is n by 2 into twice of first term plus n minus 1 into D, which is 2. It's fine. Now is equal to B1 plus B2 over sum of GP means A first term into 1 minus R is to n or R is to n minus 1. What is common ratio here? 2 is to n minus 1 upon 2 minus 1. Fine. Okay, if you rearrange it and find out C, one side. Why one side? Because it is given that C is integer and A is also positive integer, n is also positive integer, so everything is positive integer. So if you simplify this, you will get C is equal to twice of n square minus twice of n upon 2 is to n minus 2n minus 1. Fine. Now everyone, it's a heat and trial question. It's a heat and trial question purely. If you substitute n equal to 1, what you will give? 0. C equal to 0. But it is given C is a positive integer, so it's rejected. If you substitute n equal to 2, what we get? We get C equal to minus 4. Again it is given that it's a positive integer, so it's also rejected. If you substitute n equal to 3, calculate by yourself, you will get C equal to 12. Yes, it's accepted because C is a positive integer. Fine. If you substitute n equal to 4, you will get C equal to 24 upon 7. If you substitute n equal to 5, you will get 40 upon 21. C. If you substitute n equal to 6, you will get 60 upon 51. And if you substitute n is equal to 7, you will get 84 upon 113. Now here we can observe, since numerator is less than denominator, as you substitute n equal to 8, it will again, numerator is less than denominator, so it will tends to 0. It's a value of C, so C will not give you any positive integer, so it's logical, right? So only there is one possibility, the possible value of C is 12. Fine, and it is number of all possible values of C. So how many C is possible? Only one. If it's saying a value C is equal to 12, it's the only one solution. Great. Next. Okay, 15th question. It's somehow lengthy. We can say it's somehow logical. It's a classroom question in many institutes. Even it is in my notes of trigonometry. Right. Okay, let's solve this. It's 3 minus sine 2 pi of x sine of pi x minus pi by 4, right? तो अब देखो ये बहुत अजीब से एंगल है, बहुत अजीब से, कि 2 पाई एक्स है, पाई एक्स माइनस पाई 4 है, क्या है 3 पाई एक्स प्लस पाई बाई 4 है. तो हम क्या करेंगे, उसको थोड़ा सिंप्लीफाई करेंगे. लेट पाई एक्स सॉरी माइनस पाई बाई 4 को अपन थीटा मान लेंगे. क्यों मानेंगे थीटा, वो तुमको भी पता चल जाएगा. अच्छा, पाई एक्स पाई बाई अगर थीटा है तो 2 पाई एक्स क्या है भाई? व्हाट इज 2 पाई एक्स? 2 pi x is from here we can say pi x is equal to pi by 4 plus theta. So 2 pi x pi by 2 plus 2 theta, pi by 2 plus 2 theta. Okay, what is 3 pi by x? 3 pi x is nothing but 3 pi by 4 plus theta plus pi by 4. So it is nothing but 3 pi plus pi, 4 pi upon pi, so pi plus theta. Fine, it's totally fine. Now substitute pi 3 pi x plus pi by 4, 2 pi x and all in terms of theta. What we get? We get nothing but 3 minus sine of pi by 2 plus 2 theta into sine theta minus sine of pi plus theta. Fine. Okay, what is given in question? Question given they have fx पॉजिटिव चाहिए अपने को, तो जो x की वैल्यू आएगी वो अपने को बतानी है, ठीक है. इट मीन्स दे आर डिमांडिंग fx पॉजिटिव लाइक दैट. So can we say this if we solve this? Okay, what is sin 90 plus theta? It's cos 2 theta, right? It's like that. So it is nothing but 3 minus cos 2 theta into sin theta greater than equal to, okay, sin pi plus theta is minus sin theta, so it's plus, it will get to minus sin theta like that. No problem. If you open this and simplify this, what we get? Okay, everything in terms of sine we have, right? Everything in terms of sin theta, cos 2 theta. So what to do now? Substitute sin 3 theta equal to 3 sin theta minus sin cube theta. What we have now? We have sin theta into 3 minus 4 sin square theta plus 3. मैंने यहाँ पे sin theta को सब्स्टिट्यूट कर दिया है, 3 sin theta minus 4 sin theta उसको इधर ले आए, तो कैलकुलेट करोगे तो ऐसा कुछ आएगा minus cos 2 theta greater than equal to 0. Okay, now what is sin square theta? 1 minus cos 2 theta by 2. If you know, it's like that, right? It's that thing only. Fine. So substitute sin square theta equal to 1 minus cos 2 theta by 2. So if you calculate, it will give you sin theta into 4 plus cos 2 theta positive. Now everyone, please tell me, cos can take value minus 1 to 1 and it's 4 plus minus 1 to 1, so it's always positive, so I can omit this, right? So it is nothing but sin theta positive. Fine. Okay, sin theta positive means theta belongs to 0 to pi. Agree? Now what is theta here? Pi x minus pi by 4 belongs to 0 to pi. So pi pi cancel, it's 1, 0 to 1, right? So x minus 1 by 4, x belongs to 1 by 4 to 5 by 4. So alpha 1 by 4, beta 5 by 4, and we are asked beta minus alpha. So beta minus alpha is nothing but 1. Got it? Fine. So I hope it's fine, it's clear. So what is the answer here? 1. Next question. Okay, question 16 is also very simple. We can say it's very simple. How? Oh, let's see. The question is like that. In a triangle PQR, ABC is given, right? Okay. Sorry. It's P, it's Q, it's R. Okay, fine. PQ vector they have given C vector. QR vector they have given A vector. RP vector they have given B vector, right? So from sum of vectors we can say A plus B is equal to minus C. So A plus B equal to minus C. So can we say A plus B plus C equal to 0? Yes, we can say this, right? Okay, it's the equation 1 for us. It's fine. Now, what is the original question? Question is A vector dot C vector minus B vector upon C vector dot A vector minus B vector is equal to mod A upon mod A plus mod B. Fine. Now everyone please tell me, do you know a formula that A vector plus B vector dot A vector minus B vector is nothing but mod A square minus mod B square? I think everyone must know this, right? Fine. Now what is A vector? A vector is nothing but minus of B plus C vector or C plus B vector. So can I write this from here? Can I write this minus of C plus B vector dot C minus B vector? Similarly, what is C minus of A plus B vector? So can I write this dot A minus B vector? I can write this, right? Now minus minus cancel. Now it's A plus B, A minus B. It means mod A square minus mod B square, like that. So can I write this again? Can I write this again? It's mod C square minus mod B square upon mod A square minus mod B square is equal to mod A upon mod A plus mod B. No problem. Okay, now it's A square minus B square. So A plus B into A minus B. A plus B into A minus B. Now mod C square minus mod B square. What is mod B value? What is mod B? It's 4. What is mod A? It's 3. Substitute the value. What we get? Mod C square minus 16 upon mod A plus B mod B mod A minus mod B is equal to mod A upon mod A plus mod B, like that. Cancelled. Okay, what is mod A minus mod B? Minus 3 minus 1 into 3 minus 3. So 60 minus is 13. So can we say mod C square equal to 13? Yes, we can say easily. Now the thing is, everyone, what to do now? We know mod C square. What we have to find now? The question is A cross B. Okay. Now we know a formula. What thing is A plus B plus C equal to 0. This is given, right? Can I do this? A plus B equal to minus C vector. Yes. Square both side. What we get? Put magnitude both side and square both side. We get nothing but mod A square plus mod B square plus twice of mod A mod B cos theta is equal to mod C square. And we know everything. Mod A 3, mod B 4, mod C square 13. We need cos theta. So what is cos theta we get? We get cos theta equal to 1 by 2. So what is sin theta we get? Root 3 by 2. No problem from here. Okay, now what is A cross B whole square? It's mod A square 9, mod B square 16. It's sin square theta. So it's 3 by 4. So 4 4 is 16. So चलती है 12 में 108. 108 is our answer. Fine. So it was also a easy question. If you can see this, 108 is our answer. Fine. Next question. It's 17. Okay. 70 question is also a very easy question, you can say. How? Okay. For this you must know Rolle's theorem. Okay. How I can conclude that it is a question of Rolle's theorem, right? Let's see. For a polynomial gx with a real coefficient, mg denote the number of distinct real roots. Okay, distinct real roots of gx. Fine. Now they have said let f dash and f double dash denotes its first and second derivatives. Fine. Now question is find minimum possible value of m f dash. It means we have to say real root about f dash x, f double dash, real root of f double dash x. We have to say about comment about that, right? Okay, we have fx. We have to comment on root of f dash and f double dash. Got it? It means if we know about f and we have to comment on root of f dash and f double dash, it means it is basically our Rolle's theorem. That's it. Now let's comment on that, right? Question is like that. So if you can observe, this is fx into some polynomial. Fine. What is f dash x? No problem. Here we can observe that f of 1 is equal to f of minus 1. No problem. Here we can observe f dash of 1 equal to f dash of 1 minus 1. It's totally cool. Fine. Okay, everyone, please tell me, if I'm saying this, can I say that if f of 1 equal to f of 1 minus, so by Rolle's theorem, because fx is always continuous and differentiable, it's a polynomial, right? By Rolle's, can we say that f dash of alpha, where alpha belongs to 0 to 1, open bracket, sorry, minus 1 to 1, open bracket, is equal to 0? Fine. So there must available a alpha for this f dash is equal to 0. So f dash can be 0. Okay, this is minimum, right? This is minimum. At least 1 alpha. So it means we can say f dash is 0 at x equal to 1, minus 1 and alpha. So f dash has minimum 3 roots. One is 1, second is minus 1, so alpha belongs to minus 1 to 1. Fine. Fine. Now f dash 1 has 3 root. It means we can say f double dash x. Now we'll comment on f double dash x. तो अब देखो f डैश के 3 रूट है ना, तो f डबल डैश x. ओके, अब देखो f dash 1 0, f dash minus 1 0, right? So it means there available are beta for this f double dash x, beta is equal to 0, right? When beta belongs to minus 1 to 1, minus 1 to 1. Again, f of minus 1 is 0, alpha is 0. It means there must available a gamma for which f double dash of gamma is equal to 0. So for double derivative we have 2 root beta and gamma minimum. For single derivative we have 3 root 1 minus 1 alpha. So total of we can say 3 plus 2 is equal to 5. It's for f dash x, it's for f double dash x. So minimum root we can have 5. No problem. Next question. Okay, 18 number. It was also an easy question. How? Let's see. Okay, we are saying from start that whenever we are जो को लिमिट आती है उनको समझ में आया होगा कि वेरिएबल रेस टू वेरिएबल जब भी हमको दिखे, वेरिएबल रेस टू वेरिएबल जब भी हमको दिखे तो क्या होता है, ई रेस टू लॉग वेरिएबल वेरिएबल. अगर ये समझ में आती है तो ये क्वेश्चन हलवा है, नहीं आती तो दिक्कत है. नाउ इट्स limit extends to 0 plus, it means we can write 0 as well. 0 plus it means 0, right? 0 plus h if you put, and suppose this is h, it is 1 minus h raised to 1 by h e raised to minus 1, like that. No problem. Now what is this? Variable raised to variable. Can I write this like this? E raised to ln 1 minus h upon h. Of course we can write this, so write it down. So it is nothing but e raised to now everyone please tell me what is this one, this guy? This is ln 1 plus 0 upon 0. If you multiply minus minus, it's ln 1 plus 0 upon 0 means 1. So e raised to 1. If you take this e raised to minus 1, so it will give you e raised to minus 1, it will give you e raised to minus 1 plus 1, so it will give you e raised to 0 minus 1, and we have a standard limit e raised to 0 minus 1 upon 0 equal to 1. Find it. Now take it e raised to minus 1 common. What we have, अगर हमने e raised to minus 1 common ले लिया ना, तो वो होगा 1 by e into e raised to minus ln 1 minus h upon minus h plus 1 minus 1 upon h raised to a. लिमिट h टेंड्स टू 0. फाइन. नाउ अगर हम लोग इस लिमिट को ध्यान से देखें तो ये क्या है, ये है ln 1 plus 0 अपन एग्जैक्ट 0, मतलब एग्जैक्ट दैट 0 इज इक्वल टू 1. So it's minus 1 plus 1. So e raised to 0 minus 1. So we know a standard limit x tends to 0 e raised to x minus 1 upon x equal to 1. So I have to multiply this x and divide this x to make it whole 0, right? So multiply this x and divide this x. Fine. What I am saying this one, the limit x tends to 0 e raised to 0 upon 0, exact 0 we need, right? So what we'll do, we'll multiply this 0 and divide this 0 at the same time. So multiply this and divide this. What we have now? Now we have ln 1 minus h upon h plus 1 into ln 1 minus h upon h plus 1. So everyone, this is going to, this is going to be diluted, this one. So it is nothing but e raised to 0 minus 1 upon 0. It is nothing but e raised to 0 minus 1 upon 0. 1. So what we have left, 1 by e limit h tends to 0 ln 1 minus h plus h upon h raised to a plus 1. No problem. If we subtract equal to 0, what we have? It's ln 1 0 0. So 0 by 0. So can we apply L'Hospital? Everyone, can we apply L'Hospital? Yes, apply this. What we have? We have 1 upon 1 minus h, so minus 1 upon 1 minus h plus 1 upon a plus 1 raised to h raised to a. If you solve this, we are getting nothing but minus of h, it's 1 by e, of course. So if you solve this, we have minus of h upon h raised to a plus 1 e, like that. Limit h tends to 0. Now anyone can say, if this limit has to be finite, it means a is nothing but 1, so that is h is cancelled. A is nothing but 1, so that h be cancelled. So a is equal to 1 is our final answer. Fine. Oh, fine. So जे एडवांस 2020 का पेपर बहुत टफ नहीं था. पेपर 1 तो बिल्कुल टफ नहीं था. पेपर 2 थोड़ा बहुत टफ हो सकता है, पर पेपर 1 तो टफ नहीं था, राइट. अब इसमें कुछ क्वेश्चन में बच्चे अटक सकते थे, पर कुछ क्वेश्चन तो बहुत ईजी थे. मतलब मेरे हिसाब से तो अगर कोई बच्चा क्लास नोट फॉलो कर लेता तो वो 50% क्वेश्चन आराम से बना सकता था. ठीक है, तो चलो हम लोग अब मिलेंगे पेपर 2 के डिस्कशन में, राइट. तो थैंक यू फॉर टुडे.